Good afternoon, Sunset Beach. I'm John Corbett. I'm the first vice chairman of the Committee to Honor American Veterans. I'm also the mayor pro tem of Sunset Beach Town Council and a retired U.S. Army colonel. I'll be serving as the MC for today's ceremony. It's truly a pleasure to see so many of you coming together on this beautiful Sunset Beach day. Welcome to our Veterans Memorial, where we take time today to remember and honor the sacrifices of those veterans and first responders who have gone before us and those who are continuing to serve. It is an honor to welcome our special World War II guests, Marine Corporal Alma McClune, Navy Machinist Mate First Class Carl Dinabrega, Army Veteran Sergeant Leo Jarmusch, and Julian Highsmith. Julian, where are you? Sorry, I don't know what service you were in. Navy. Welcome today, sir. And welcome to our special Korean War veteran, George Bartley, who will be representing all the Korean War veterans. Yeah. If there are any other World War II veterans here, please stand if you are able, or raise your hand and be recognized. Are there any other World War II veterans here? Thank you, sir. At this time, I would like to, Also, we are honored today to have as our state representative, Mr. Frank Eiler. He's present here to attend our ceremony. At this time, I would like to invite Sunset Beach Mayor Shannon Phillips to make a few welcoming remarks.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for coming out today to Sunset Beach as we honor these veterans for all that they've done for this country, including our police, our fire, our service people, and the paramedics serve, and also their families that have been there to support them. We thank you all. Appreciate you coming out for this event.
Honor Guard, please take your places. At this time, I'd like to ask our Committee to Honor American Veterans Treasurer and Sunset Beach Councilman and retired Metropolitan Washington, D.C. Police Officer Charlie Nern to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Honor Guard, present arms. Please stand in support and salute as you are able to do.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are we still on? Okay. Please remain standing and salute as Sunset Beach's star vocalist Linda Ladrick sings our national anthem. Linda?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, Linda. That was beautiful. At this time, I'd also like, please take your seats. I'd like to recognize our honor guard. It's led by Police Chief Ken Clamer, Fire Lieutenant Matthew Gaskins, and Fire Lieutenant Shane Graham. Thank you, honor guard. Okay. Next, I'm glad to welcome Reverend Brad Ferguson, lead chaplain of the Brunswick County Sheriff's Office Chaplains Program and senior pastor of the New Beginnings Community Church, as well as chaplain for our Sunset Beach Police Department. Reverend Ferguson will lead us in the invocation.
Will you join me as we pray? Father, we come before you today on such a beautiful day in such a beautiful place. This is a special day, not only because we can wear short sleeves and enjoy the sunshine and the warmth, but we remember. We remember those who are here today who participated in some of the conflict that our nation has been involved in for many years. They remember. Families remember those who have given everything for us. We remember their sacrifices, their commitment, their love of country, and their fellow man. And they remember some who are carrying around with them the scars and the wounds of battle, who struggle to function, who struggle to have a sense of peace and well-being. So today, my prayer is for them, that you will continue to watch over them, that you will give them a sense of peace because you are the peace giver. You are our presence, you are our care. We ask you to surround all those who have sacrificed so much who are here today. Continue to strengthen them and guide them and provide them with a life that is full as you have promised us in your word. God, we celebrate today. We give thanks to you for this wonderful privilege that we have. And we ask you to speak to us, encourage us, guide and direct us so that we can make a difference in our community, so we can give and make sacrifices for the betterment of others. Take away our selfishness, our self-centered attitudes. Give us joy and give us peace and give us love for all people. We thank you for your presence here, and we pray in your holy name. Amen.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, I'd like to introduce the chairman of the Committee to Honor American Veterans, Gordy Coulson, who will make a few remarks. Gordy is a retired U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel.
Mayor Phillips, Town Council members, special guest General Dan Allen, U.S. Army retired, and Mrs. Allen. And of course, all the Army, Marines, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, Merchant Marines, police, firefighters, and first responders. Welcome to our ceremony. Now, to get things rolling, I'd like all you vets to stand and turn to each other, bump a fist, thank them for their service, and welcome each other home. Please do this. Welcome home, guys. My hat off to you. And bump over there. Thanks all. Well, listen, I'm Gordon Coulson, chairman of the Committee to Honor America's Veterans, and a proud retired Army soldier of 28 and a half years, and a 1968-69 Vietnam veteran. 53 years sure has gone by fast. Enough about me. This committee's worked for over 8 years now, selling bricks and placing your bricks in the memorial for Memorial Day and Veterans Day. Why only twice a year? Well, we're all volunteers, so it's easier to finish the job with the reward of the 2 ceremonies to follow. At present, we have 1,301 bricks on the floor and 1,595 honorees. We also have 7 wall caps that are engraved, so please take a look at them as you wander through the memorial. Overall, we are about 57% full. Our other income that helps maintain the memorial is our very successful golf tournament. We have only missed 1 year due to the pandemic COVID-19, but we sold raffle tickets that helped us not have a dry year. This year was another successful golf outing with 180 golfers on the Thistle Golf Course 3 nines. Our golf director's team does a great job. Now that I've talked about our income, I know some of you are wondering what we do with this money we've brought in. Well, since 2016, we've conducted Veterans Assistance Program, and the program provides grants to support organizations dedicated to assisting needy veterans in our region. There are too many to talk about, but as of today, the Committee to Honor America's Veterans has provided grants totaling $63,000. See our website for details. Thank you for that applause. On a final note, Veterans Day is always on the 11th day of the 11th month at the 11th hour. So why are we here at 1 o'clock or 1 o'clock for our ceremony? Well, the reason is we decided long ago that we did not want to compete with the Calabash, American Legion, the Elks, and the VFW, as they've been doing their ceremonies for their members for a long time. We wanted those members, if they wanted to come to the memorial here in Sunset Beach, then they would not have to worry about making tough decisions. Besides, sometimes the temperature is a bit warmer here. So, ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy the rest of your program.
Before we go any further, I'd also like to take a chance to express our thanks to the many people who volunteered to help put this ceremony on today. We have not only our Committee to Honor American Veterans members, we have members of a nonprofit in Sunset Beach, Sunset Vision, and we have representatives from the Old Bridge Historical Society, as well as we had a lot of work and effort by town staff, Department of Public Works, Fire Department, and Police Department to put all of this together, and our Special Events Coordinator, Sindai Stevenson. So thank you very much. It is now my distinct honor to introduce our guest speaker. General Dan Allen is a distinguished graduate of the United States Military Academy at West Point. He graduated and was commissioned as an infantry second lieutenant in 1981, beginning an outstanding 36-year career of service to our nation. He has served or commanded at every level from platoon leader in the 82nd Airborne to commander of the U.S. Army Forces Command at Fort Bragg. Included in this are assignments with the elite 75th Ranger Regiment, the 3rd Infantry Division, the 1st Cavalry Division, the 18th Airborne Corps, the Multinational Forces National Corps in Iraq, and the Joint Task Force 1 in Afghanistan. General Allen closed out his career in 2017, having served as the 35th Vice Chief of Staff of the United States Army. There are more details of General Allen's career in our program. There's a lot of good facts in there. We are pleased that General Allen and his wife Debbie chose to retire and settle here in Sunset in Brunswick County. So please join me in welcoming General Allen. Thank you very much.
Well, thanks, John. I appreciate that. And if you noticed me walking up as he was still talking, I wasn't being disrespectful. I was being respectful of your time, having to listen to any more waxing or waning about me. So no offense to you, John. And Congressman Eiler, thanks for joining us. We're honored to have you here with us today. And special thanks to John for the opportunity to be here with you. I'm honored to join you on this most important of national holidays, where we honor every veteran who ever has and ever will serve the flag of our nation. When John Corbett reached out to me to share in today's celebration of our veterans and first responders on this most special of days, as you can imagine, there was only one acceptable answer: yes. And to Gordon's point about why are we doing this at 1 versus 11, I appreciate that you do that, because I was able to celebrate one of those 11 o'clock services and still be here with plenty of time to spare. Such is the family that is forged in the service of our country and our communities, in combat and in preparations in peace, where shared sacrifice, ours and our family members, our uncommon commitment to a cause greater than ourselves, and the resultant honor of serving with fellow patriots who share in this common cause and uncommon bond. Such is the family of veterans and first responders who come together here today, and all across our great nation, to pause amidst the relentless flow of life to say thank you to our veterans and first responders, young, old, and those who've preceded us to heaven's gates. Thank you for the countless ways our veterans and first responders have collectively extended this amazing march of freedom and democracy begun by our forefathers 246 years ago. So thank you for being here. This ceremony of remembrance and honor matters for all of us, and as importantly, for our nation. As we gather here today, some may not recall the history of Veterans Day, so I'll offer a very brief summation. Originally called Armistice Day, its original purpose was to honor all our heroes from World War I, and established in recognition of the historic moment on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month in 1918, when the guns finally went silent in the war to end all wars. Believe it or not, for the first celebration in 1919, all businesses across the country stopped for a collective 2-minute repose to honor our veterans. Now, wouldn't that be a great tradition to bring back once more? But back to our history lesson. In 1954, when our nation found itself looking back on two more global conflicts with millions more heroes to honor, the name of this holiday was changed by President Eisenhower to Veterans Day, a title we've cherished and revered for the past 67 years, and a legacy you help us extend today. I'll be very brief today, as I know many gathered here have quiet moments yet ahead to fulfill personal reverence to their veteran and first responder heroes, near and far. I'd ask us to focus on three key themes as we celebrate today and every day God grants us beyond our time together here. Those themes are remember, honor, and give voice to our veterans' stories. It begins with remembering, something those gathered here don't need a reminder about. But our nation risks losing touch with our nearly 21 million veterans across the country, including 16 million who have served in times of war, and improbably losing touch with our 2 million service members in uniform today from all branches and components doing the Lord's work around the world as we pause in reverence here today. With less than 1% of our population currently serving in our military, it's incumbent upon all of us to remind our fellow Americans about why service to our nation matters and why we must never forget those past, present, and future who raise their right hands and commit their lives and livelihood to the service of our country. Though all gave some and some gave all, every veteran signed a blank check to the nation for a potential price up to and including their very lives. We must remember and honor this uncommon commitment and inspire the next generation to answer the call of duty and to serve our nation and this incredible experiment called democracy and the foundation of freedom it preserves. Honor our veterans and first responders today and every day. Throughout our nation's history, we've been the beneficiaries of the extraordinary heroism of those who wear our nation's colors. We rightfully focus on the heroes whose breathtaking, incomprehensible courage is recognized by the award of our nation's highest award for valor, the Congressional Medal of Honor. Heroes like Master Sergeant Leroy Petrie, Captain Flo Groberg, and Staff Sergeant David Bellavia. Heroes that I've had the humbling privilege to meet. Amazing examples of soldiers doing their duty, no matter the horrific circumstances that combat often brings to humanity. A duty warriors voluntarily fulfill, as Staff Sergeant Bellavia described, because of, and I quote, love of nation, love for our way of life, and love for those we serve with side by side, end of quote. I've also had the humbling privilege to meet and serve with tens of thousands of less publicized heroes. Service members who answered the call to duty and did whatever it took, whenever and wherever the mission required, in peace and in war, expecting nothing in return beyond the recognition that they did their duty and they did it to the best of their ability. You all know the incredible everyday heroes I'm talking about. Quiet professionals, exemplifying dedicated an unyielding commitment to their duty, their teammates, and their country. The type of service member that is on task today in over 160 countries, on the ground, in the air, on ships and ashore, preserving our freedoms. These are the dedicated professionals that President Ronald Reagan spoke about when he said, and I paraphrase, "Some people live an entire lifetime and wonder if they have ever made a difference in the world. Our veterans don't have that problem." These are the type of heroes I'm reminded of wherever I go across our great country. Like the World War II veteran I met a few years ago at the World War II Memorial in our nation's capital, who, when I asked about his experience, answered with these humble words, and I quote, "I was just a sergeant," end quote. Imagine my shock. Just a sergeant in World War II. Can you believe it? Whereupon I respectfully interrupted him and opined, there is no just preceding any duty one performs for our country. Back to the blank check every veteran signs over to America. Shortly after the birth of our nation, President George Washington captured the essence of why honoring our veterans is so vital to sustaining our democracy when he said, and I quote, "Our young people are as likely to serve as to how they perceive the veterans are treated and appreciated by their country," end of quote. Let's all commit to extend our legacy of honoring our veterans and first responders, one and all, by ensuring they know that we value their service and their many sacrifices and the enormous sacrifices of their families and loved ones. Lastly today, I ask that we give voice to the amazing story that underpins every veteran and first responder's legacy of service. This should be the easiest of tasks, given the thousands of worthy human endeavors every one of us has personally experienced. But there is an amazing truth about most of our veterans and first responders. They will seldom talk about their experience of service to those outside a very small circle of trust. So today, I'll just highlight a couple of veteran heroes who impacted my life. One who is blood family and who helped shape my early growth, and the other, inherited family that I was blessed to marry into as a young captain. Major H. Gregory Allen, 10th Field Artillery Regiment, France, 1918. My grandfather, who lived to be the age of 99 and passed away when I was a young major serving at Fort Leavenworth, Kansas in 1992. The true patriarch of our clan, particularly since my dad passed away when I was 7. Bampa, as we reverently called him, never spoke of his service in World War I. Only in his early 80s, when I was a cadet at West Point, did I coax him into talking about his experience at Fort Sill, Oklahoma, going through artillery training and eating the big steaks in Lawton, Oklahoma. Big steaks in Lawton, Oklahoma. Sound familiar? Thankfully, some things don't change. Only after Bampa passed did I read extracts from his personal journal that describe some of the fear, uncertainty, and quiet courage as he shipped out of Philadelphia and transited the Atlantic Ocean en route to the distant shores of Europe, and his subsequent dedicated service as a horse artilleryman in France in 1918. In fact, if I'd had enough understanding of all that he did to ask him about his service when I was a young man, I'm sure Bampa would have humbly said, "I just did my duty." And fast forward to 2001. I'm selected to command 3rd Brigade Combat Team, 3rd Infantry Division at Fort Benning, Georgia. And my direct support artillery battalion is 1st Battalion, 10th Field Artillery Regiment. Yes, the very same regiment my grandfather served with in France in 1918. Thanks for the hand of God, and thanks, Bampa, for the overwatch. The second hero I'll reflect on today is Command Sergeant Major retired Pete Wingrove, my bride's dad, and in many respects the dad I never had growing up. Pete, as his mom and all his friends called him, came from the coal mining hill country of southwestern Pennsylvania. Good hillbilly country, as he often phrased it. A quiet man of few words, Pete embodied what is the indomitable quality of the American soldier. What you see is seldom what you get. Within lie qualities of courage, commitment, and an unyielding winning spirit that has befuddled the enemies of our country for centuries. Pete served our country for 3 decades, from the post-Korean War Army to the Congo, Dominican Republic, Republic of Vietnam, and the rebuilding of our Army after Vietnam. An airborne ranger, Special Forces, Mike Force Commander in Vietnam, Staff Sergeant Pete Wingrove was recruited to be part of the hand-picked force that went into North Vietnam to rescue our prisoners of war held captive there on the Sante Raid 51 years ago this month. A member of the assault force that deliberately crash-landed into the POW compound, Pete would earn the Silver Star for his courage and valor on this mission. An amazing hero, Pete never talked about this mission, nor his many other Army experiences, except after a beer or two at the local VFW, where fortunately I became one of the select few to learn of his incredible journey of service to our country. Service that he began to secretly catalog as his memory faded under the weight of Alzheimer's disease. When he finally succumbed to the disease, his wife Shirley found his legal pad of handwritten notes where he listed all the highlights of his Army service: the good, the bad, and the ugly. All of which, fortunately, I'd listened to, along with the Paul Harvey, the rest of the untold story. These are a couple of my veteran stories. I'm sure you all have your own to share. Please do so. Give voice to the incredible life of service your loved ones and our nation need to know so much more about. It's helpful to guide those serving now, and it's even more impactful to inspire our next generation of veterans to carry forward this incredible young experiment called democracy. I'll leave you with a couple more eloquent words on this idea from President Ronald Reagan, and I quote, "All we can ever do for our heroes is remember them, and remember what they did. And memories are best transmitted through our words. All we can do is remember." End quote. Again, thanks for sharing this important day with us. God bless you all. God bless those serving near and far. And God bless America. May we all continue to serve those in need around us and exemplify, as we do so, the very best of our great nation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, General Allen, for those thoughtful and inspiring words. At this time, I am pleased to introduce the Committee to Honor American Veterans, second Vice Chairwoman and former Sunset Beach Town Council Councilwoman Karen Joseph. Karen?
Thank you. Thank you, John. In closing our ceremony today, we honor the memories of all veterans and first responders with a traditional wreath laying. We would like to take a moment to recognize again all our veterans and first responders in attendance. If you are able, please stand or otherwise raise your hand if you are a first responder or a veteran. In our audience, we can thank many people and many representatives of World War II, of Korea, of Vietnam, of Iraq, of Afghanistan, and all other veterans, police, fire, and first responders. On a point of personal privilege, I would like to acknowledge 8 veterans who have traveled here from Arbor Landing to acknowledge the day and all it stands for. We are so pleased that you were able to join us. And as I read your name, if you can stand, please do so. Otherwise, just wave to us. First on the list is someone John mentioned, Julian Highsmith, a World War II veteran. Joining Julian are Rudy Townsend. Rudy's waving his hand. Richard Parada. I don't know where Richard is. Jim Stovican. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Wayne Hewitt. Wayne is right there. David Edwards. Wayne Booth. And Paul Pennell. We thank you for your service, and we especially thank you for joining us today. Would our honor guard please move forward to pick up the wreath and escort our WW2 veterans and our Korean War representative into the memorial. And committee escorts, please escort Corporal McClune, Machinist Mate First Class Carl Dinobrega, Sergeant Liamo Jarmuz, and George Bartley. As they are entering the memorial area, if any other veteran would like to join them, we encourage you to do so. All the way in. All the way in. What? Okay. Okay. Looking good. You can move, yeah. Now we would ask you all to join us, if you are able to stand, as our bugler David Nelms plays taps. This concludes our ceremony. On behalf of the Committee to Honor America's Veterans, I want to thank you all for attending. The memorial will be open to all visitors at the conclusion of the photographs that we will be taking. So thank you again for joining us, and have a wonderful day.